Welcome everyone to Jasper's TV episode 288. Today is August 13th, 2016. 288 is a nice number because it's twice as much as 12 times 12. I'm enjoying that right now as I go play in a Crazy House tournament. This is lichess.org, lichess.org, and we see one of these finishes in 29 minutes and one of them starts in 29 minutes. We're going to go with the one that's finishing because that means we can actually play chess in it. So this is going to be a slower Crazy House tournament. You can see the time control is 3 minutes per side and 2 seconds added per move. That's not like as fast as you can play, so I'm looking forward to putting some thought into my moves, maybe some words into the microphone as I play. Should be a fun episode. Now, because I'm joining this tournament late, you can see it's been going for an hour and a half. The total time is 2 hours. It's likely that my very first opponents will be kind of a little bit lower in the skill totem pole because I'm playing people who have 0 points. You can see Pavel is my first opponent. Let's play double king pawn. I'm pretty comfortable with that now. Pretty comfortable with this opening. It's because it's what I play in Crazy House. This is a bit new. I think I'll just play the standard. You can see this pawn's not guarded. Oh, whoa. This is a little scary. I don't think that this is very good for white. I'm not sure why, but I just don't think it is. I think maybe king straight back would be a good move here. Because if I play here, he drops the pawn, which checks me. So now he's threatening a checkmate, so I can drop my bishop here perhaps. Blocking the checkmate. Yeah, let's do that. Very good control of the light squares. He took out my light squared pawn, so you really have to watch out for weaknesses in these areas. For example, h6, scaring away the knight, means nothing pawn-wise is guarding g6. So then he could start getting a bind on these squares. So you really have to watch out for that. And so I don't think I want to play h6 because he could drop a pawn there. Maybe I'm okay with that. Probably I'm not okay with that. So let's just continue developing and see where he goes from here. You know, I could have taken this with check, and no, I couldn't have done that. I was going to play this, knight g5, and then knight g4, and then queen takes g5. Taking discovery attack, blah, blah, blah. Not possible because his queen could have captured me there before I played d6. So let's think about this again. Starting from the top, or rather started from the bottom. Now we're here. Or should I say now we're here. It's either bishop g4. I'm tempted to play the pawn up just because I need to get that knight out of the way, don't you think? I think so. Let's play that up. You know, I know about this weakness because I just talked about it, but this allows me to take this guy, and now with a pawn in hand, I can really solidify my center by dropping it here or here. So let's see what happens. Take. I can't win stuff for free. So let's just play peacefully. This isn't going to work, is it? The queen trade is too scary. My king is a bit exposed, so I don't really want to trade queens. In typical chess, a trade is good if you're under attack, not so much in Crazy House. It's awful in Crazy House because that puts a piece ready for him to drop. He's really giving me an easy game here, though. Allowing me to just capture this stuff peacefully, and now this opens up his king a little bit. Drop some painful knights in there, maybe. Maybe another knight here. That threatens checkmate with the pawn. Threatens a fork with the pawn. So we'll just go straight to that. If I had a knight, I could mate him, but I don't have a knight, so I'll just take a rook. And now we're threatening checkmate with this move. I wonder if there isn't an immediate checkmate. Drop the rook in first. Drop the rook. He has to go here. Then we go here, check. Losing everything. No, that's probably not best. What about knight here, check? If only I had knights. Knights is where it's at. Well, let's just put the bishop here. Oh, this could be really bad. Let's keep the pressure on. Really should have seen that. Okay, so I'm in a super bad position here. I'm super in trouble if I play that check. This is really bad. Okay, he's running. I don't see how I could survive this, but we'll just try. So you could see a lot of weak squares here for his knights to come in, but he's not killing me yet. so I'm really thankful about that. Do I have a checkmate? I'm so close here. I just need to take some things first. Maybe I should take that. Check, check. There's an increment here, so I'm not totally out of time. Let's take this. Now I have an extra pawn to drop. I'm probably missing a checkmate. Oh, Crazyhouse is very difficult. So now I could take the rook, but am I that crazy? Yes, I'm that crazy. Okay, this is one chance to checkmate me before I checkmate him. He does not take it. So he has so much to drop. He has 3 pawns. He has 3 knights. He has 3 bishops, and he doesn't put them on the board. He really should be trying to find ways to expose my king here. Now I had this square barely covered, this square barely covered, and this square barely covered. So he couldn't check me with the knight. But anything else, also he couldn't check me. So I felt like in one move I'd be safe, but I feel like he should have been more aggressive there with all his pieces. And that's the first win. Pavel goes down. Prizes paid in Bitcoin. Oh, I love Bitcoin. First place, $15. Most people with the dollar sign on the left, because the more populous nations do that. Oh, a Sicilian. Interesting, interesting. He's just moving pawns. Let's play the open Sicilian. See how it goes. He's probably used to this. There's dark squares. Whoops, dark squares here. Just keep developing. I don't see any great opportunities to destroy his face just yet. Okay, I'll pin that. He's going to play bishop in. I'll just castle. No need to get crazy. I wonder if there's some super weakness I could take advantage of. I just don't see anything right now. Okay, that's scary. Let's take that preemptively, and then we'll move the knight. So this should be interesting because of these dark square weaknesses. I think a6 does open up some weakness here. So I could, for example, drop a knight on b6. That would keep things interesting. Or a pawn. I could put a pawn on b6 and then a knight on c7 here. That's interesting to think about. Should I do something like that? Let's do the pawn. Very weird move, but I don't know how he's going to cover this square. I'll put the knight there next. It's kind of strange to be attacking on the queen side, guys. My pieces are pointed this way a little bit, especially with the knight on the edge. That's a weird move, though. What is he doing? I will just add this and let him take that, I think. Boy. No, I'll take all this stuff. It's free after all. And then I'll add it later. So now I have a good variety of things to drop. It's nice to have a knight because those can't be blocked. Knight obviously jumps over whatever was blocked. And the pawn is very nice because it's not worth very much, so you can add it somewhere nobody wants to trade with it. Like if I put a pawn here on c7, big headache for him because he doesn't want to trade. I think I can just take this. He has 2 knights. That's what he's got. So I need to think about like problem checkmates here. And I think we're fine. So it's interesting. Yeah, let's put the pawn here. If he plays queen here, I'm going to add the rook on this square, rook g4. Try to keep him moving on the back foot there. That was an unexpected move. I think that was a mistake. I think. Using what's up here, I've deduced probably an error. So now I can play here. Now I can add a knight here. I can add rooks and queens and all kinds of stuff. This is a pin, so it's kind of dangerous for him. I'm giving him this exchange. Literally, it's an exchange. Not worried about that. Let me turn my microphone down. It seems that my torture chamber is leaking sound into the chess show. Okay, this should be a quick checkmate. Let's try this way first. Scare him into moving his rook. He should not move his rook here, but that doesn't mean he won't. not move his rook. In fact, I think he will. So I've really been enjoying. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I've really been enjoying going to my local library this week. I talked last episode about a horrible financial book that I read. I'm not going to give you the name because it was so bad, but I figured out why it was bad. After further, checkmate, that's serious. After further thought about the book, I figured out why it was bad. It was because the book was written as an advertisement for a product that the author was selling. You know how if you open up the newspaper, it's pretty easy to tell, never mind, there's no such thing as a newspaper anymore. If you open up the internet news article, it's pretty easy to tell the difference between the article and the advertisements. And you shouldn't be seeing any advertisements, you should be using ad block, which I don't, or some kind of ad stopper tool, because advertisements are annoying. But in book form, you check out the book from the library, like, oh, this looks like it's an interesting book. It's very hard to tell that the entire book is one super large advertisement for their product until you read it. And then you're like, why is this book so bad? It was an advertisement. That was the problem. I read a book after that, later this week, it was like yesterday, called The Working Memory Advantage. The Working Memory Advantage. It's about your memory, like remembering things, and the working memory, which is a kind of memory. But it turns out the author of this book had like this memory training tool that they wanted to sell. No kidding. So it was also a horrible book. What do I do here? I think I take that. So I just had bad luck selecting books. 2 out of 2 were advertisements. But then I got a book called, it was called Good for the Money. It was by the former CEO of AIG, that huge financial institution that almost destroyed the world. And that was an interesting book. I've only just started it, but I would recommend it already, and I've read like half a chapter. So take this maybe. Yeah. So if you're into boring financial stories, it's a novel kind of, except it's a true story. So it's like it's an autobiography, I guess. That's what it is. That's not a novel. Novels aren't real. Although they are novel. I want to attack here. So I'd recommend Good for the Money by Ben somebody. The CEO's name was Ben. It's a good book. Then I was reading a book about music. Learned something interesting about music, by the way. Music is such a mystery to me. And the mysterious part is, why do we care about it? Like, why does music make us... why is there such a thing, really? He's going to move his bishop here. That's going to annoy me. What can I do? What if I take this? And then I put my knight back where it was. And then I put my pawn... What do I check? And then I check him. This is probably stupid. Why is music a thing? It's just sound. Why is it better than other sounds? It's a great mystery to me. The book tried to explain it to me. I read the whole book. I still didn't understand it at all. I think it's because the author didn't know. They just wanted to sell the book. Now I need another knight. I need to get me a knight. So I can put it right there. So let's go take one. You know, I could have moved my bishop here. Wouldn't that be clever? If he takes me, then I can play knight there with a blue arrow. Okay, so I got me a knight, so now knight here is next. I think I'm going to have a problem with my king. I'm going to have to add a pawn right there. You see that? Because I'm not going to push. I'm going to add that right there. Perfect play. We don't really want to open this diagonal. Not so good. So one of the mysteries that I did figure out from this music book was why nobody plays chords on their bass. Now I tried to play the bass. I'm talking about the bass guitar with like the plucking. No, They're both. There's also a bass violin, which is like this humongous violin bigger than a person. But I'm talking about the bass guitar, which looks like a guitar, except it's kind of weird and doesn't have enough strings. And nobody plays chords on it. And there's two reasons why. The reason I thought was because it's super hard, because it's not built for that. And the other reason is because it sounds horrible. Like, those are two pretty good reasons not to do it. But after reading this thing in this book, oh, that was great water. I realize there's a third reason. Let's go here. Actually, it's reason number 2. It sounds horrible. Why do low chords sound horrible? It turns out that there's this thing in your ear that detects sound, and it's called the ear sound detector. And it can detect between 2 notes, but if the notes are really close together, it's not very pleasant. Like, if you ever play the C and the C sharp at the same time on a piano, it just like, it sounds awful. Your brain says that's not a chord, right? So you'd rather spread out those notes. You could play a third interval or a fourth or a fifth, like the notes spreading out. When they spread out a ways, then it sounds nice. And you've heard music with 2 notes at the same time that are spread out nicely. But if they're smushed together like that, often that's called dissonance. It sounds bad, and the composer of the piece is probably going to resolve that with a bigger space or no space at all pretty soon, because of how nasty that sounds. What if I take him? How bad will that be? Pretty bad. He'll add a knight here, and I'll have to move over. And then he'll take this. But then I'll fork his face and take a queen. So I don't know if I want to do all that. What if I just move, though? Can I get away with that? He'll take this, and then I'll take him this way. You know, I'm going to go for it, because then I can't fork his face if I take this way. So it's decided. It turns out that the ear detecting parts in the upper registers, which is like the high notes, are pretty good at separating 2 sounds. So if you play a whole step apart, for example, now I can fork his face. Let's try it. Then it's okay, right? But if you play a chord up there, it sounds great, like a C major chord, a C, E, G, whatever that sounds like. I can't make 3 notes at once. It sounds okay. But if you play that really low, like on a piano or on a bass guitar or anything that make low notes, except for a tuba, because you can't play a chord on a tuba, it sounds bad. The reason is the ear can't tell those apart very well, because if you look at a diagram of an ear, it's like all ear-shaped, and that area is smushed together. So your ear physically needs more space between the notes in order to avoid that dissonance, which sounds so bad. I should be checkmating this guy, but all I can do is talk about ears. Bishop here, check. Okay, we'll take that. Now I have another knight to drop. You better be scared. Pawn here, check. This can't be good for you. Oh, you're out of time. And so, because your ear can't tell the sounds apart very well, it's like, this is awful. It's like this. This is awful. I don't even like this sound. But if it's higher, then your ear likes it better because it differentiates it better. So there's a physical reason why chords sound better when they're higher and awful when they're lower. And I learned that, and now I've told you. So if you have any insight about that, you YouTubians, feel free to post in the comments of the video. I would love to read your comments because it was quite intriguing to me. Let's play some more double king pawn. Crazyhouse. I'm scared by that move because he's going to sacrifice his face. I just know it. He's going to do it right now. He's going to sacrifice it. He's going to sacrifice right here. They all do it, and it's so scary. Gomez Cahoon. Gomez Cahoon has joined us in the chat. Never heard of you before. I assume H-U-N spells Hoon. Could be Hun, but probably Hoon. That's a weird move right there. That's a weird move. Weird rhymes with beard, but I don't always say beard after weird. I should, though. What if I take this? What if I just take that, right? He's like, oh, it's a free knight, and then I'm like, wham. I should do it. I'm doing it. I am doing it. Here we go. Someone is having trouble with the stream. My stream works fine. I'm streaming it. And now I do it. Someone asks, is it safe? Is it safe? The chat's not making a lot of sense to me right now. I'll type, is what safe? Where's the checkmate? I could put a knight here and lose it for nothing. That'd be a good start. I could move this knight up. Ah, that's pretty tempting. Let's do that. Let's do that. Because I can add things to squares. I should put a pawn here. That would really disrupt him. Let's do it right now. Right now. Seems good. This is actually kind of nice for me to trade these two, just because that'll put those pieces in my pocket where I can add them to his king, create a checkmate. I like creating checkmates, as usually I do. If it's not my opponent, I don't like to create checkmates on my own king. I feel kind of silly explaining this. So I think maybe I'll throw this intermezzo in here, because it threatens a rook. Yeah, now he's got big problem. Big problem. I can add a knight. He takes my pawn. Then I move the knight. Let's just start with this. The bishop will come in handy. Oh, a message. Gomez Cahoon is following me on Twitch. That's fantastic. Thank you, Gomez Cahoon. I assume it's not Hun. So he's got big problems here. I mean, I could just checkmate him 3 times over with these 3 pieces. Each piece can checkmate him 3 times. So that move didn't stop me at all. I'm about to crush him. Of course, it's tempting to just add a knight here and then move it here, and he goes back, and then add another knight, but I don't have another knight. It's tempting to do this move, check, and then I take his queen, but it's most tempting to just add a bishop right here. What'll he do about that? Let's create the trades. Trades are going to checkmate him. Whoa. Okay. This looks powerful because I have this fork. I thought he'd take the bishop. He's still running. So this will be pretty painful. Maybe I should royally fork him though. Yeah, I should do that. That looks good. Nothing like the old royal fork, attacking everything good at once. And he resigns. I now have how many wins? 4 wins in a row. Let's keep winning. Very pleasant. It's nice joining these tournaments. This is the second time I've joined the Crazyhouse tournament. Right at the end, it's a 2-hour tournament, and I'm playing the last half hour. It's so nice because all the good players are like up there with 1,000,000 points playing each other, and I just sit back at the back, like win every game against the bad players. It's very pleasant. We can even talk about ears while we do it. You know, I should do this every Saturday. Every Saturday. Okay, this is called Crazyhouse, Gomez Cahoon. He followed me, and then he's like, what am I watching? If you capture a piece, you can add it to the board later. That's what's going on. So another game with the black pieces. I should probably be scared. Bishop e2. I've been seeing that more recently. It seems a bit passive, but it does kind of stop the attacks I like to play. So it changes the flavor of the game. Oh, knight a4. This is definitely his own thing here. Let's just pull it back. This works in chess, so why shouldn't it work here? Okay. Okay, I'd like a pawn. Maybe I should just push here. He's going to add there if I do that. Mess up my king. Let's offer some trades, I guess. Whoa. He did not move there. He flew. He teleported. I'm starting to worry about this. I'm definitely starting to worry here. This is not good. Probably a bad capture, but if I take the queen, he adds another bishop here. Or he moves his bishop there. I've had my queen pushed around way too many times. Where it's just attacked, so I move it, and it's attacked, so I move it, so it's attacked, I move it, and then it's trapped. I hate it when that happens. Let's try this move. I need to keep up the pieces on the board. I found that if you have too much in the pocket, then you fall behind. He's added everything he's got, see. That's real spicy. This knight is out of the game. He has all his minor pieces playing this game. Whereas my knight is not playing. It's passive. I can add 2 more knights though. That's a lot. Let's start doing that. Add one here, add one here. Here I take with my pawn, I think. I could take this way. Keep the queens on the board. My king is a little bit more unstable. So we are going to try. He's going to add a knight here if he gets one. Maybe start with this. Let's do that. This is tough. Maybe that was the right move. Ans Jovis kivitzed it, but I didn't see it in time because of the latency in the chat box. So this is going to be a check. Pretty tempting. If he drops a pawn here, I'm hosed. Start with this. And then we're going to throw in the check, I think. There's also, I could drop a knight here with check. That could come in handy in some lines. It's very complex. Very complex. I can't even think about ears. I'm focusing so hard. So now I'll take this, right? I could take that. I think I'll take this. So much is happening. I'm getting ready to sacrifice a huge pile of pieces. Like an enlarged group, an enlarged pile. So I take, that's a big sacrifice, and then I drop a knight here in blue. Not enough to win, so I guess we can't be crazy. Oh, I'm gonna get this pushing around thing where he adds the knight here. And I can't not die. Constantly dying. What if I play this right now? Let's try it. Only have 30 seconds, nothing to lose. There's only 10 seconds in the tournament, so it will be difficult to win or lose the tournament in that amount of time. So sacrifice, and then I drop the knight. He could trade his queen for that knight. So I don't want to do that after all. We're both pretty exposed, but I'm way more exposed. So I have a beat problem here. I could put bishop here, but he can add a bishop here. Yep, which he just does. Oh, that's brilliant, actually. Now I lose my queen. That was pretty smart. I'm dead now, but the tournament's over. I'm dead. I'm dead. Dead. I'm dead. No, he adds stuff here and then here and here and here and all the places. He's adding things in all the things. This is my only way to live. And by the way, I don't live this way, but it's my only attempt. Fun tournament. Too bad it ended with a loss. This move loses, so I'll play this one. This move is my only legal move, so I'll play it. Pretty easy logic. Now I can add something. Ooh, complexicated. Let's try a knight. No, I'm not dead? How is he not checkmating me in one move here? This is surprising. He had a free rook if he wanted to go for material. But no, I'm alive, alive. I'm going to put a knight here with check, and he's going to be in check for an entire move. He's going to be in check. It's going to be awesome. Check. It's too bad I don't have anything more for him. Let's try it. Let's just keep checking him. I am ignoring imminent death. Oh, now he puts his queen here. Well, it was worth a shot. I think it was a valiant effort to play pawn at h3. Valiant effort. View the tournament. Congratulations. Operweisen. Pronouns. Operweisen. Can't be pronounced, but he's on the internet. Cool. That's Weissen. It's Swiss, of course. Weissen is how it's pronounced. And then Masalanka. This is actually... I don't know this language. I don't know any of these languages because they're not languages, they're people. But that was fun. I had a good time, and it's too bad I lost that last game. So my final finish location was 89th place. I actually didn't count as losing because it didn't finish in time for the tournament to be over. So 4 games, 4 wins was my tournament score. 89th out of 345. Not too bad, not too shabby. Enjoy the casual crazy house. I hope you did as well. Next episode, we're going to play an infinitely long game. We've actually never tried a game with no time on the clock. So one lucky viewer is going to play a game against me with no time on the clock, and we're going to try to play a perfect game, and we're going to do something interesting where we actually don't play any bad moves. There's a rule where you're not allowed to play any bad moves, so that should be interesting. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll see you next time. This has been ChessWhiz TV. Thanks for watching.